Under the blazing sun, imagine Moses standing tall on the empty Nile banks, his face shining with a fierce, unstoppable determination ready to face whatever comes next. The river lies ahead, quiet and watchful, as if holding its breath for what's about to happen. You can feel it in your bones. His voice, strong and echoing, travels across the water like a bold promise, daring you to listen and believe. Beside him, Aaron stands firm, his staff a symbol of unwavering resolve. The future of our nation rests on their unshakable gazes, steady, true, and fearless. Imagine Aaron, standing tall with his staff in hand, against the glowing, shimmering Nile, an image of strength and resolute power that speaks directly to your sense of courage and purpose. With a bold, plunging leap, the staff shatters the calm river, unleashing a furious upheaval that roars across the tranquil surface. The pristine waters suddenly turn to a sickening, blood-red flood, thick and ominous, as if a monstrous warning from the depths, an unnatural crimson wave of dread. Dead fish drift upside down, their dull scales shimmering with an eerie crimson glow, while chaos unleashes among the terrified Egyptians. An Egyptian home is engulfed in an unstoppable nightmare, an overwhelming swarm of frogs, their slimy bodies smothering every inch of the space. Emerald eyes flicker from every shadow, transforming the once familiar home into a strange, alien world. Under the blistering Egyptian sun, a swarm of relentless gnats crashes down, turning the lively street into a nightmare of torment. The air roars with a deafening, frantic buzz, as the relentless swarm devours everything in its deadly path. Desperate hands scramble and claw, their frantic movements barely masking the dark shadow of the plague that now engulfs the once vibrant market stalls. Faces twist in agony as relentless insects swarm, invading every inch of exposed skin with merciless fury. The vibrant hum of trade is shattered, replaced by a frantic symphony of desperate screams and frantic, chaotic movements. A tidal wave of desperation crashes over the crowd, as every person fights desperately against the unstoppable swarm. Inside the ancient Egyptian temple, a relentless swarm of flies engulfs the air, their maddening buzz echoing like a sinister heartbeat, an unstoppable force of chaos and decay. Egyptians frantically swat at relentless insects, desperate to escape the chaos and find a fleeting moment of peace from the overwhelming plague. A clear divide emerges. The Israelite quarters stand untouched, a haven amidst the chaos. The untouched quarters of the Israelites stand in stark contrast to the suffering and torment around them. The deafening roar grows louder, screaming the desperate suffering of the Egyptians for all to see. Beneath the merciless Egyptian sun, the land transforms into a chilling wasteland, dead cattle and broken dreams scattered in a haunting graveyard of life. Carts creak and collapse under the crushing weight of lifeless animals, forming a haunting procession of despair across the ravaged, barren fields. Dust devils whirl wildly across the lifeless land, echoing the shattered spirits and despair burning in the hearts of the survivors. Beneath the merciless Egyptian sun, a once lively village withers, its colors fading as a deadly plague of boils spreads chaos and despair. The infected villagers shuffle through the dusty streets, their bodies scarred and bleeding, a horrifying sight of sores bursting and spreading with every step. Once bright faces now twist in silent agony, their everyday lives a heartbreaking show of despair. The village, once vibrant and full of life, now shrouded in haunting silence, screams of despair as a community falls victim to a devastating curse. The Egyptian countryside is under savage attack, as a relentless storm of hailstones crashes down like thunderous fists, each strike pounding the earth with unstoppable fury. Crops are decimated, reduced to shattered stalks under the relentless icy onslaught. Humble homes shatter under the fury of a savage, unnatural storm, roofs torn asunder, walls battered and broken. The townsfolk gaze in frozen silence, their faces twisted with shock and growing despair, as if the very world is collapsing around them. Their priceless harvests, the result of relentless toil, are wiped out in an instant, leaving only a desolate wasteland of devastation. A menacing dark cloud rolls in, swallowing the sun and plunging the once vibrant Egyptian fields into shadow and despair. A thunderous roar of buzzing wings echoes through the air as a relentless swarm of locusts descends upon the fields, devouring everything in sight and leaving utter ruin behind. The ground disappears beneath a carpet of writhing bodies, a feast of destruction unfolding under the relentless swarm. Farmers gather in the wreckage of their shattered fields, despair etched deep on their faces as everything they've worked for crumbles away before their very eyes. A sinister darkness crashes over Egypt, engulfing the land in an unstoppable, shadowy abyss. Panic erupts as the sun vanishes, casting long, eerie shadows that dance like specters. Once bustling markets now lie abandoned, shrouded in eerie silence. Only faint, trembling whispers pierce the darkness as fear hangs heavy in the air. A suffocating, oppressive darkness hangs over Egypt, as if the gods themselves have abandoned the land, leaving it to drown in despair. The darkness seems to possess a life of its own, feeding on the fear that grips the hearts of every man, woman, and child. A warm, inviting glow emanates from an Israelite home, casting a golden light into the night. Inside, families are united by the soft flicker of candlelight, their faces reflecting a shared anticipation. With reverence, each family carefully marks their doorways, the brushstrokes deliberate and meaningful. The blood of the lamb, a symbol of protection, is applied with a mixture of hope and fear. In this sacred act, they seek deliverance, their faith unwavering in the face of the impending night. Flickering torchlight flickers like a dying flame, casting haunting shadows of sorrow that ominously sway across the icy stone floor of the Pharaoh's haunted palace. The air hangs heavy with sorrow, the silence broken only by the crackle of the flames. Before Pharaoh lies the still, lifeless body of his son, an offering to unforgiving gods. The boy's pale face is illuminated by the wavering light, a testament to a father's despair. Every shadow writhes and twists, mirroring Pharaoh's inner chaos, a shattered world bleeding into darkness. Flickering torches hue the shadowy grandeur of the Pharaoh's palace, their ghostly flames dancing across ancient hieroglyphs, whispering secrets of a lost civilization. His voice, heavy with grief, echoes through the silent hall. Take your people and leave Egypt, a desperate plea laced with finality. Go now, before more of my family suffers. Under the vast, unforgiving desert sky, the Israelites begin their exodus. A symphony of footsteps and whispered prayers fills the air as they leave behind the chains of slavery. Each face reflects a mix of trepidation and unwavering hope, their eyes fixed on the horizon. The desert wind carries their collective dreams, a promise of freedom etched in the sand. Under the blazing sun, the vast Red Sea stretches to the horizon, its surface shimmering with an almost unbearable intensity. Before the seemingly endless waters, the Israelites stand as one, their faces mirroring a potent blend of desperate hope and paralyzing terror. Moses, a beacon of unwavering faith amidst the sea of doubt, raises his staff towards the heavens. His voice, resonant and commanding, echoes across the expectant multitude, a powerful invocation calling upon a divine power. The air crackles with anticipation as all eyes turn towards the heavens, awaiting a sign, a miracle, a deliverance from the encroaching sea. The Red Sea parts in a moment of divine intervention, a path to freedom carved through the implacable waves. Towering walls of water rise high, framing a passage of hope amidst the surrounding chaos. Sunlight glints off the newly formed corridor, illuminating an escape from despair. A silent promise of deliverance hangs in the air as the sea holds its breath. A vast multitude of Israelites emerges onto the sun-kissed shore, their weary journey nearing its triumphant end. Sunlight dances on the wet sand as they plant their feet on solid ground, a mixture of disbelief and burgeoning hope etched onto their faces. Behind them, the relentless Egyptian army surges forward, a tide of chariots and soldiers driven by unwavering determination. The ground trembles under the weight of their advance, the air thick with the dust and the echoes of war. A stark contrast unfolds as freedom dawns for one, while relentless pursuit defines the other, their destinies hanging in the balance above the parted sea. The Red Sea erupts into a raging storm, its waves like clawing hands clawing desperately for the sky. A colossal wave crashes, swallowing the last remnants of the once mighty Egyptian army. From the shore, towering shadows creep like ghostly fingers, as the Israelites stand frozen, breath caught in their throats, overcome with awe and wonder. Faces carved with shock and heartfelt thanks lift toward the skies, each lips whispering a silent prayer. The sea, once a deadly barrier of despair, now rises as a breathtaking monument to their miraculous salvation. A new dawn erupts on the horizon, flooding the restless seas with bold strokes of hope and the promise of liberation. Against the fierce, towering silhouette of Mount Sinai, Moses stands alone, an unwavering figure carved against the stormy sky, embodying solitude and divine power. He grips the stone tablets with fierce desperation, knuckles blanching against the jagged rock, an unyielding symbol of divine justice, etched in the very fabric of destiny. The weight of destiny hangs heavy on his shoulders as he stands ready to descend, bearing the hopes and the fate of his people. A haunting, thunderous voice reverberates through the air, echoing with ancient, unstoppable power. The 10 Commandments roar with divine authority. With a grand, commanding sweep of his arm, Moses stands before the throng of Israelites, his voice thunderous with destiny and authority, echoing the very words of prophecy and leadership. With a heavy, reverent voice, Moses appoints the judges and rulers, their faces etched with the weight of the monumental duties they are about to undertake. The Israelite camp erupts with electrifying energy as the chosen leaders boldly step forward, igniting a fierce drive to lead their people toward an unforgettable destiny. A tense, electric silence hangs over everything, as fragile hope burns fiercely, ready to ignite a bold new beginning. Every chosen leader rises boldly, poised to steer their people toward a future of destiny and dreams. Under the relentless desert sun, a miraculous transformation begins. Divine manna pours from the skies, a glorious shower of hope breaking through the bleak, barren land. The barren, lifeless land suddenly erupts with vibrant life, a miraculous gift from above, proof of divine mercy and boundless blessing. Faith is reborn as the barren desert suddenly bursts into breathtaking abundance. Moses looms in silhouette against the sky, his rugged face carved with awe and wonder. Under the savage heat of the relentless desert sun, Moses raises his hands high, an unstoppable symbol of faith, defiantly facing the blazing, endless horizon. Below, the Israelites stand assembled, their faces a tense blend of hope and fear. They hold their breath, waiting for the first light of dawn, when their sacred destiny, a divine promise, will finally. Before him, the promised land gleams with an almost sacred glow, bathed in the radiant divine promise of destiny.